I'm Anne Irving and I live here at Waimatua with my husband Adrian. We have a 800-acre farm with sheep and deer, and we have 2,500 sheep, ewes and 400 hinds on this block. And because we're only 13 k's from Invercargill, the sea's not too far away, about 15, and we need the shelter to protect the environment and the animals. We've been here 42 years, and I have, and I think the main message is to look around and see what grows in your area. It's so important to not waste time growing things that you think you want to grow. You must get that shelter in and not waste time trying lots of different things. Get the shelter first and then play with other species. Our first shelter that we planted was this Macrocarpa hedge over here. And when we planted it, it was miles away from the house and about this high, and we never thought it would get big enough to do any sheltering. But since then we have progressed. Because of the salt wind, we need to concentrate on species that actually grow, and we have concentrated our main shelter on pine, radiata and different types of eucalypts, really, just in a double row. It works for us. The shelter is so important for us for lambing time, for lamb survival. It just means that we don't have to do the work of bringing animals into the shed in the really bad weather, and it's nice to work in the shelter as well. We originally had another duck pond further up the gully, and the deer always used to run from the trees down there into the corner and out, or this way and that way. So not only was it muddy, but it was frustrating handling the deer, so we decided to make it into a duck pond. So this dam here created the pond. Yes, we get a lot of pleasure out of this, plus we get ducks. Stock management, we have a couple of ewes that wander around here and eat the grass, and we have also done the riparian planting on our big ditch along the middle of the farm with just what was there really, and that has saved a lot of lambs being posted into the ditch at lambing time, so it's helped save lambs really, and it's given shelter. This area here is 32 acres of QE2 covenant. It more or less looks after itself, but we did have to push the elderberries back off the fence, and well, yes, there's been a bit of maintenance over the years. It got hammered in the 96 frost, but it's recovering. The native plants, this area here is fantastic for lambing. It's lovely and sheltered, and all around the bush the sheep use the shelter. It's a big asset really. I guess I started planting trees because my father started planting trees, my father and mother, and I think you can see the family thing going right through. When I got married, we joined Men of the Trees, and I've had a lot of pleasure out of that over the years. I've been secretary and been involved right through. We're also involved with farm forestry, and because of my knowledge of what I've gained over the years, I have become involved with Rural Women New Zealand forestry project that we have at Castle Downs in Dipton, and we have 292 acres of forestry. The land was initially donated to us by the Hamilton brothers, and the women in 1949, this started in 1949, and the women went out and sowed the seeds, planted the trees and fought the rabbits. They made a meal of the trees for a start, and of course they had to try again, and it's been a bit of a struggle, but now we're very proud of our forest, and we've actually, am I allowed to say that we've got
you must say that.
I must say that we got a award from the latest Farm Forestry Association because of our length of time that we have had our forest, and the fact that all the profits from the forest go to charity throughout Southland. We're very proud of our forest. This block is on the west side of our QE2 covenant, and because it was exposed when we started looking at putting a fence around it, we decided to put pines in this area and just to shelter the bush. But they were a good idea, and at about age 30 we've taken them out, and what we thought would happen did actually happen. We got a profit from the sale, which we were very happy with, about $7,000, but because we took the shelter out, a lot of the trees just went like this. Disappointing, not unexpected, but we felt longer term it would be good, and so we have planted this area in about 1,000 trees, and we've tried to choose trees that will grow easily. Cabbage trees, flax, pitostrum, wineberries, and we haven't tried to be too fancy, we've just put what we knew would grow. And on this side we've got more shelter, and they've been so much more successful. So it just proves, looking here, that shelter just is so essential. We're standing up here and it's getting blimmin' cold, and this cameraman's keeping us here in the cold breeze. So shall we go down and see how warm it is in the shelter as a comparison? See how the animals feel. Yes, we're now in the shelter and it feels jolly good. Much better than up there. Yes, I just love trees, and I think it's really important to plan your farm to put more shelter, and just put the fencing up, put the trees in, and it will enhance your farming lifestyle. You can do gardens, but trees are here for a heck of a lot much longer. That's really important. You're leaving a better legacy than just a bare paddock and a fence.